Hey everybody, Shark Scrapper. Well, we signed the lease. The place is ours for the next couple of years. Time to do some measurements and a little cleaning up because the previous tenants did a reasonably good job, not a very good job cleaning. Not bad, I've seen worse, but we got some cleaning to do. But first, let's get everything measured so we can lay out our floor plan here. And I've been pulling the tape and doing some measurements, and here's what I'm thinking until I put this down on paper. Here's what my going in idea is. The truck would back into somewhere around here for unloading. I could put the scale right there where that towel is. The previous tenants were very nice and left a couple of towels behind. So I could put the scale there. That leaves me all of this space to set up shelves and bulk storage areas. Maybe even if I measure, I have to measure this space here, but if you remember, I've got those big braces that came off the cell phone tower. That might be a good place for that rackage to go, or maybe right along there. So that'll be incoming bulk kind of storage. Then as we rotate around to the other side of the facility, this towel would represent my primary workbench. That's the one that when you look at me breaking down PCs and stuff, that's that workbench. There would be another bench behind me, so this might actually come out a little bit. Then there's that rackage that I put there that has the bins that I put stuff in. I can have more rackage here for bins and along here. And then I can put my business desk here or here so I can greet people as they come in to sell me stuff. I don't really get a lot of visitors to the Shark Cage. We don't do B2C kind of things, so there really aren't a lot of people that show up here. But I do need to have a desk for my administrative work, so that might go there. There's power on this wall right here. There's lots of power in this room here, here, here. And then over on this wall, we've got power there on either side of the place where the scale would be. We have, there's a third one over there with all the IT equipment. So there's lots of power here compared to Shark Cage 2.0. Real nice head over here. Yeah, I'm thinking this has the potential to be a reasonable layout for what I'm doing. But I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna lay this all out on paper to scale and put some cutouts of the primary workbenches and furniture and stuff, and we'll get a real good idea of what we're doing in here before we actually start bringing in the heavy stuff. I've already checked with the landlord. They're fine with me having a pod out back for a week or so to unload. I just need to talk to the Comfort to the Carolinas AC guy and make sure they don't get in the habit of parking there anymore. Might even become a future client of mine, you never know. All right, folks, that's the plan for now. I'll show you what that looks like on paper. The drawing that you see here is to scale from the measurements that I took at the new location, Shark Cage 3.0. These little boxes represent the outlets, the 110 outlets, all around the space, a lot more than I had in Shark Cage 2.0. Also, keep in mind that this length is 37 feet. This length here is right around 28 feet. And this length here is 25-ish feet. This is a bathroom, or a head, as I would call it. And then this is the area where the Sharkmobile will back into, so I'm calling this a loading zone so it stays open. This is what I'm referring to as version 1. And in version 1, what we see for a workflow is that material comes off of either the Sharkmobile or whatever vehicle it was transported in. It goes on the scale to get weighed and recorded. Then it goes over to incoming storage. Some of you may recall that I have the beams and the brackets from a cell phone tower that I use to create a very heavy-duty storage rackage kind of thing. So my intention is to set that up again in here. I may or may not be putting pallets up on it, but it is big enough to handle, and certainly strong enough to handle, cargo pallets. When I want to break something down, I will carry it over here where my workbench and the charging cart that I use to store some materials in will be located. As I break down the boards into the components that are going to get sold, they would be shipped back over here for what I'm calling work in progress. This will be shelving that will have bins to store the various boards that have been separated in order to have them ready for shipping. When I think I have enough to ship and I want to prepare a box, then I can bring over whatever I need to pack up a box. And then that box can either go out this door to the Sharkmobile, there's a parking lot out here, or it will go into the bed of the Sharkmobile or out through this door to go in one of the side doors of the Sharkmobile. Now the only issue with this is, of course, this back and forth going on here. Although there are some nice things about this, if we get rid of all these. As you saw in the first few videos here, I'm going to be bringing in loads of boards that have already been removed. So they're loose boards in bin. So I can stage boxes here and fill up those bins, then weigh them, and then bring them to the work in progress. Kind of a little bit cleaner maybe. Now my other options, I have two more layout options to consider. So one of them is version 2. Now in version 2, in all these versions, the scale and the incoming storage are all in the same place. So the material comes on the scale, it gets stored, but now the breakdown area is right next to the incoming storage. Then I can move material over to WIP, let it accumulate, and when there's enough of it, it can go over to my shipping and admin area to get boxed up and weighed. And then it can either go out the door, or go over to the truck. This has a similar advantage to the first layout because with this layout, if I do bring in a truckload of mixed boards, I can again stage bins, weigh them, and then put them in whip directly. They don't have to go to the incoming if I've already separated them. So this has some potential advantages here in version 2. Version 3. So here we have version 3. Once again, the deck scale and incoming in the same place. So material comes on the scale, goes over to incoming, then it goes over to breakdown, and then it goes directly over to whip. And so whip and admin have swapped places in this version. So now whip accumulates here, then it goes over to admin for shipping and boxing, and then from here it will either go to the truck or out the door. I like this because it's closer to move boxes back to the truck. The truck will probably be parked back here by the bay door rather than here because the parking lot is kind of over here. It's not quite as convenient. I won't be parking right in front of this door. Most likely the truck will be over here. So this has that advantage of a nice clean circular flow. However, when I bring in a box of mixed boards, a pallet of mixed boards, they get separated, they get weighed, and now I have to bring them all the way over here to whip. Now let's get realistic here. We're not talking about a huge space. The entire width of the space is 27 feet. So it's not as if I'm carrying things a great distance in this facility. So it's not that critical. It's just I want to try to lay it out as efficiently as I can from the get-go. And that what I don't want to have to do is move the scale or the incoming storage because those can be very heavy and just a bit of a challenge to move around, especially the scale. Once I get that down in place, I don't want to be moving it again. And this is the most logical place for the scale to go. All right, everybody. Well, I am looking forward to what you all think about this new arrangement. Which of these layouts seems to make the most sense to you? And I can't wait to get in here. I got to get it cleaned up a little bit and then get the pod delivered. But I'm very excited to get going again.